When I was a kid, I remember going to the store, and you couldn't go in any store without there being a clerk right there with you. That's what it used to be back in the day. When you went to the store, there was always a clerk there to help you get whatever it was you needed. And if you told them, I'm just looking, they would follow you around until you needed their assistance with something. If it wasn't nothing but to carry whatever it was up to the cash register to get you wrung out. They don't do that much anymore. If you go to a store now, you got to beg somebody to help you with something. And being a little bit ornery the way I am, aggravate them a little bit once I do get somebody that, well, I wanted to say offers to help me, but they don't really offer. You got to go find them and drag them to wherever it is, what you're wanting. I particularly enjoy Radio Shack. They get these kids in there that don't know sickum about electronics or anything, and well, I'm not going to claim to be the brightest bulb in the pack when it comes to that sort of thing, but I do know a little bit, and I know enough to be able to aggravate them some. And I always try to find the greenest kid in the place, the one that knows the very least about anything. Can I help you, ma'am? And I say, well, you sure can. I've been looking all over this store and I can't find them, and I know you got them in here somewhere. And he'll say, what? And I'll say, I need a 24-volt fornicator. And they always say, without fail, they'll say, what? And I'll say, I need a 24-volt fornicator. And if you don't have the 24-volt, I'll take two 12-volts. I can wire them in a series. And you would be amazed. I mean, these kids will get on the computer and they'll go to typing this in, and they'll be digging in shelves and in boxes and standing on their heads, looking for stuff underneath the counter and everything else. And it's all I can do to keep them busting up laughing while they're fidgeting around trying to find some non-existent thing. And another one that I like is if I go in a office supply store, where they're selling office furniture and stuff, I'll be looking at the desks and the chairs and stuff that they've got. And that always brings somebody around eventually, because that's the highest dollar thing that they've got in the doggone store generally, unless you're looking at electronics. But if you're looking at the office furniture, they know that they got a pretty good sale coming up. They can sell you something. And they come up and go to talking to me, and I'll say, I was looking at your office chairs, and I'm a little bit confused. And they'll say, well, what do you mean you're confused about them? And I'll say, you got these leather ones over here, and those are pretty expensive. And I'm not understanding, because you got these other ones that are made of Naugahyde, and they're not as expensive. And they should be more expensive than the leather ones. And they're saying, well, why is that? And I said, well, don't you understand that Naugahyde, that comes off the Noggy Doggies? And you see the question mark come up in the bubble over top of their head. And I said, Noggy Doggies, those things is about extinct. And they're still using them, getting their hides to make these chairs out of. How many Noggy Doggies do you reckon that it took to make this chair? I said, I'll tell you what, why don't you go find the manager, find somebody, and ask him how many Noggy Doggies it takes to cover up one of these chairs here. Know that before I could make a purchase like this. You can have fun for, at least an hour aggravating some of these salespeople in these stores, because they don't know sickum. They hire these people that don't know nothing about nothing. They're not interested in learning nothing about what they're selling either. They just want to make the sale, or they just want to put their time in and punch that clock and get that paycheck at the end of the week. They ain't interested in learning nothing about what they're doing. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's all kinds of fun that you can have with these salespeople.